you someone who feels like you've outgrown your current environment, or you're working hard but you still feel stuck? Do you know you're capable of more, but you're not sure what needs to change to get there? Or maybe you've been trying to level up your business, your mindset, your relationships, your life, but you're doing it alone and wondering why progress feels so difficult. If that's you, then today's episode is for you. Today we're talking about the power of accountability, the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people, and why growth often, what can I say, requires discomfort before it produces results. Joining me is someone who has not only transformed the lives of countless clients as a coach, but has had a tremendous impact on my life as well. Top 3 reasons to watch this episode. Reason number 1, you're going to learn why people around you can either accelerate your growth or unintentionally keep you stuck. Number 2, you're going to discover what true accountability really looks like and why most people say they want it, but struggle when they actually receive it. And number 3, you're going to learn how to step into the next version of yourself by embracing discomfort, changing your environment, and intentionally surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow. So if you're ready to think bigger, grow faster, and become the person that you've been praying to become, this conversation is packed with wisdom, practical strategies, and real life experiences that can help you get there. So let's get started. Today's conversation is, like I said, really special to me because sometimes God places people in your life exactly when you need them. Not by accident, not by assignment. Well, I should say it is by assignment. And this year, that person for me has been Coach Heidi. Heidi is not only an incredible Tom Ferry coach, she's an amazing mother, a wife, a kick-ass agent in Florida, and one of the most intelligent, grounded, and intentional women that I have had the privilege of connecting with. But what makes this relationship so powerful is this. She didn't just come into my life to support me. She came into my life to really stretch me. She became my accountability partner, my sounding board, and someone who has pushed me out of my comfort zone in so many ways that have elevated me, not just professionally, but personally and mentally. So because of her, I've stepped into new rooms, joined book clubs I would have never thought, expanded my thinking, and grown as a coach. And today, we're going to have a real conversation about growth, accountability, and what it actually takes to evolve into the next version of yourself. So if you have ever felt stuck, if you know that you're meant to be more, which I know all of you are, or if you're just looking for the right people to grow with, this conversation's for you. Heidi, I'm so grateful for you. Welcome
I'm
to
so grateful for
Real
you.
Talk on the Red Chair.
I'm so excited and honored all at the same time. I'm like very excited, nervous. Thank you.
Oh my God, seriously, I've said this to you more than once. God placed you in my life at the right time. I'm
Same.
serious. It's like seriously, your perspective. Seriously, what do you think makes certain relationships feel aligned and different? What do you feel?
So, you were very kind and you actually gave me the questions before we got on here. So I was actually, quote unquote, re-reviewing them. And, to your question, the perspective, what makes certain relationships feel aligned and different. So many different things, right? Because you were so sweet and you named so many different things, but I feel just the opposite, where you are all of those things to me. And, the other thing is a lot of times we don't know what we need at certain times. And I think that's where God is like, hey, dum-dum,
Yes.
you probably really could use this person because you can't see the forest for the trees right now.
Yes.
So that I would have to say that.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's like you know, as we've always said, it's his timing, but when,
Yep,
right, when you need that person, he's sending them your way.
a
And
hundred
he's done that
percent.
at different chapters of my life with different angels. Well,
And when I first reconnected with you, I was in the airport. I think you were still at Summit because I always sneak out early. And I was in the airport and I was like, you know what? I love her so much and we don't talk enough. And so that's when I texted you.
oh, I love it. And I'm so glad you did because this has been a totally different year for me. And
Same.
let's talk about accountability because that's
Oh,
one of the
yes.
reasons why I really do feel that it's also been a big difference for me.
Mhm.
Because people say that they want it, but
Nope.
not everyone is ever really ready.
Mm-mm.
That's including us as coaches, let's be real. Right?
Absolutely.
Tom always puts this out there. What does true accountability actually look like? And why do you think so many people struggle with it?
Discipline. It is like, but I want to read what I wrote down because I thought this was actually really, really good. Um, accountability. Accountability is usually based on what somebody wants. Like, I want, this amazing car, but it's not based on what you're willing to do.
Right.
And that's the difference. So
Yeah.
you have to have discipline. One of Tom's lines that he uses all the time that I love is choose your hard.
Hard. Yeah.
I know it gets me every time. And I'm like, right? I mean, you know, when my alarm goes off at 4:40, am I super stoked about jumping? Absolutely not. It is like, you know what? I'll just skip this one time.
Right.
Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know.
I
Right.
say this
And
all the time. You know what? You just made me think of something, Heidi, and I'm sorry to interrupt you,
no,
but when you
please.
talk about discipline, you talk about choosing your hard, right? Like everybody knows I love to eat, right?
Who
And
doesn't? I do too.
and you know, all my life I really had really, really bad eating habits, right? So starting like age 13, high cholesterol, like really bad eating habits. And it wasn't until like I had my son, my youngest son, who's
Hmm.
autistic, and I was like, all right, I need to have healthier habits because I need to be here longer. So the
Absolutely.
discipline and the choosing my hard was like, okay, I'm gonna really be disciplined now. It was dabbling before, but now I'm gonna be really disciplined about my health. Like it doesn't
Yep.
matter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like I have to make sure that I eat right and work out every day, like every
Yep.
day. And
Yep.
it's because of him. So sometimes, you know, when he says, first of all, have a big enough why
Yes.
and choosing your hard and being disciplined all in one, right?
And it's hard. It's not sexy and it's not super exciting. And, like I said, I could be like, oh my gosh, you know what? Nobody's going to know. Well, I'm going to know. And it's going to bug me. It's
Yes.
going to bug me. And, you know, having an accountability partner, I actually have another accountability partner. And I was actually listening to Aaron Chula, one of his videos. And he's like, you should have you should have multiple accountability partners. And I was like, well, that's interesting. So my husband and I, after Summit, we are going on a huge, big vacation and we're going with other couples. And one of the things that we all joke about is, the out of breath hiking group, which is
Hmm.
us, right? And which is terrible. So my husband and I, we go for a mile walk every morning at 5 a.m. every
Nice.
single morning. And I have, she's actually on city council. And I said, okay, I'm going to text you every single day so we don't miss. And we're going to do it Monday through Friday. And, I'm going to text you a picture. And so we text a picture of our shoes as we're walking out the door every morning. And she goes, okay, we're going to do the same thing. And I said, well, let's put some money behind it. She's like, oh, I like it even more. And I'm like, okay. So whoever misses, every time you miss, we have to put money in a pot.
Ooh.
And I think we did, I think it's $20 for every time we miss. And for me, it's not about the money. It's about, I know I did it.
Yes.
Needless to say, after week 1, they missed 3 times. And
Oh my
we have
gosh.
not missed once. And it was funny because I just saw her the other day and she goes, "You guys are going to get one hell of a meal when we hit Yellowstone." I'm like, "Girl, I can't even wait."
Well,
Because
something? I love this on so many levels because one, you are having that time to walk with your husband because I think that's so
100%.
important
Well, it's
to
usually
have
in
those
silence. We don't
conversations.
usually talk.
Yeah.
But
So I think that's so important. What's really important is that one, you have that time with your husband, right?
yep,
Two, the accountability. I love that you're saying that you have multiple. Yes, I have multiple accountability partners, multiple coaches, right? So
100%.
a coach with business, as you know,
Yep,
we have a coach
yep,
with our own private
yep,
business. Then we have a coach for coaching,
absolutely.
a coach for my training, a coach for my health coach, which now has me on the right probiotics and all that good stuff,
Love
right?
that.
So it's all different aspects of life that you have accountability partners and coaches
100%.
for, right?
Right. And, I heard another line that I was like, and it was from Aaron Shua, and I'm going to say it wrong, but something to the effect of, um, your friends aren't your real friends if they let you get away with it.
Hmm. That's true.
It is like, I don't need a friend. I need somebody who's going to be like, really? Really? You just couldn't do
Well,
it. You just
what's our
couldn't do
favorite
it.
word with coaching? It's carefrontation,
100%.
right? If you care for somebody enough, you're going to tell them the truth and you're going to say, stop right there.
Yep.
Excuse, 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 right? So let's
100%.
talk about growth and discomfort. You pushed me out of my comfort zone in a big way. What?
Really?
Yeah, seriously, because you have no idea. I mean, there were so many different things that I was like, should I? And I'm like, okay, I got to do it. I got to do it. Why is discomfort necessary for growth? And what would you say to someone who keeps avoiding it?
I would say the reason they're avoiding it is because they're scared of the unknown,
Hmm.
right?
That's
Um,
fear, right?
100%. It absolutely is fear. And for those of us who are agents, we all love to be control freaks. And I say the best agents are control freaks, but to be able to, we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
And if I don't know if this is the only way I've always done something, but you're amazing and you're like, "Oh my gosh, she's doing it. Like she's doing things 2 and 3 and 4 times. That's stupid. She could minimize all of that and it could be done blah blah blah."
Right.
Right? And you know, you hold me accountable by saying, "Heidi, before y'all go on this big trip, you need to get your will and trust in place." And I'm like, "Dude, is it really that important?" And the conversation that we had, yes, it is.
Yes.
God forbid something happens, that would be an awful situation for my kids to have to maneuver through, and that would be terrible. And, you gave me multiple examples of where it happened to other people. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I really don't want my kids to have to go through that.
You
But
really don't.
no, but having you guide me through it and just knowing there's somebody else who's done this ahead of me and they know what they're doing and you're going to hold my hand. I'm like, okay, girl, you know what? I trust you.
Yeah.
100%.
Something that goes with all different aspects, right? Life, coaching, kids, like
100%.
think people who have experienced something before you, at least they can say, okay, this was my experience. Now you can learn from it, right? There's no
100%.
reason for you to have to go through the trenches, right? You can learn from that experience. So
Right.
let's talk about identity and next level. In your experience as a coach, what is the biggest mindset shift someone needs to make to step into their next level?
Trust.
Hmm.
Trust. It's hard, right? It is. And it's like, okay, so I have a brand new coach and we don't hardly know each other, but if I trust you, I'll walk through the forest, not even worried about it. Not even worried about it. So I really believe you have to be able to trust in a
Yes,
lot of, not just in business, in life, God, everybody, right? It's
everything.
hard. It's so hard because we're
Right.
like,
That's the
nope, I
trust and the
think I,
faith.
I know what I'm doing. No, you don't.
Yes.
You don't have a clue. Let it go. Let it
Yes.
go.
It's the trust and the faith, I think, in a lot of things
Mhm.
with life and coaching and business. It's like you trust that what you're doing is going to give you the outcome that you're looking for. And you have the
100%.
faith, faith is doing something without seeing those results yet, right?
Right. Without
Absolutely.
knowing, and it's just like, when we go to Summit or Elite, it's hearing the stories and being like, if Coach Jessica can do it, surely I can.
Right, right. Well,
Right?
that brings me to environment and proximity because, like you mentioned, Summit. How important is proximity, being around the right people when it
Oh my
comes to
gosh.
growth and success?
So, I know you've heard Tom say this multiple times. If you think of your office and you have, or other offices, whatever, or just people in general in your life who are the blood sucking vampires, the one that just drain all of your energy. I don't need to be around that.
Right.
I don't need to be around that. And I use the example, I'll use my kids as my example, right? Right? Because they're kids and we used to be kids. But, I'm sure your parents were the same as mine. Heidi, I don't want you hanging out with the people that hang out back behind the school. And I'm
Mm.
like, well, why? They're like super cool. No, they're not. Right? They're not on a path of success. Right? And it's being around other successful people. I mean, I always say this, I want to be the dumbest person in the room. I just want to be a sponge. I just
Yeah.
want to learn as much as I can. And Tom talks about, different levels of masterminds. And they don't always have to be real estate, agents. They can be, different masterminds with different groups and types of people. Right. And I'm like, that is so interesting and next level. How cool is, and just to hear maybe a financial planner, right? And they're having different struggles but they can help you and it's
Well,
100%.
you made me think of the very first summit that I walked into. I did feel like the dumbest person in the room. I felt
Oh,
like a little
absolutely.
fish in the big
100%.
in that big sea. And then let's not now take it to the first time that I sat in a coach's mastermind. I
Oh, yeah.
really felt like,
I'm like, okay, I need to
what?
step up my game because I don't want to be a
Yes.
dum dum.
And talk about being a sponge. I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
you know what I really loved about the environment? That it was extremely supportive. So,
100%. You're not
like,
being judged.
yes. You remember when Tom brought in that presentation coach? And so
Yes.
we were really put on the spot. It was
A
like
hundred
everybody
percent. I
stand up
was sweating.
and then when they called my I was like, no, like I wanted to
I was like, I think I just got a phone call. I have to go. I'll be right back.
I wanted to disappear. But these are the moments where you have personal growth. And you know
100%.
something, you've helped me expand personally, not just business. How do you balance being a high performer while also growing as a mother, wife, and individual?
Boundaries.
Yes.
And it's hard because whether we all want to believe it or not, we are people pleasers.
Yes. 100%.
Right, right. I mean, oh, let me just take this call really fast, right? And, I actually have do not disturb turn on my phone at 7:30 because you got to have the boundaries. You got to have
I know.
something.
That was a big lesson for me.
It's still to understand, it's still to this day difficult. It
Well, I
is
remember when starting in real estate, you want to be available. You feel like if you're not available, you're
100%.
going to lose that client and you're going to lose that connection. And I have learned, especially being part of this ecosystem, Tom, that was one of the things Tom taught was
Yep.
like boundaries, boundaries, and that's it. My agents, everybody knows, like after a certain time, it's just not happening
I'm
until
done.
tomorrow.
No, we're done. You know, I always, it's kind of bad to say, but I say nobody dies in real estate,
Yeah.
right? Okay, okay, they do, which is probate, and we'll help them sell their property, which is totally fine. But meaning, you know, we're not a police officer, we're not a doctor, we're not a firefighter.
Right.
Whatever it is, I promise you, it can wait. I
Yeah,
promise you.
absolutely.
Because,
Absolutely.
what time do the banks close? 5, 6 o'clock, maybe,
And
right?
everybody works around it.
Right,
That's
right.
it. Know
So
that
you know
hours.
what? It 1000%, it can wait.
Yeah,
We're not saving lives or scraping bodies up off the pavement, right? We're not doing that. So it can wait.
absolutely.
That's how I see it.
You know, I wanted to talk to you about masterminds and structure. We just finished a really
Yes,
good
a really, really
mastermind.
good one.
You know, our mastermind sessions have been so powerful.
They have.
What do you think most people are missing when it comes to creating structure and consistency in their growth?
Say that again. I have to think.
Like what people are missing when it comes to the structure, the consistency that they need in their own personal growth. Because, like, for example, we just had this mastermind. We
Hmm.
gave an outline, we gave them structure.
Yep.
Everybody takes something. They're like, oh,
Yep.
that's amazing. That's amazing. But they need to have consistency so that they can have their own personal growth. They can't just say, okay, that sounds great. I'm going to dabble and try it today. And then they're like, oh, it doesn't work for me.
So, Tom uses this analogy often, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist,
Right.
right? It's not really super exciting or super sexy or whatever you want to call it. It's really not. However, I know if I put it in there, it's going to happen. I
Yes.
put my hair appointments, my nail appointments, my vacations, everything in my calendar. And, it's funny because my husband and I will be planning something, whatever, whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, let's just go on Tuesday and, at night for dinner, whatever. And he's like, looks like from the calendar, because I have them all connected to my Alexa and everything. He's like, you have an appointment on Tuesday. I'm like, oh, I do? I have no clue, right? But if it's there, it's going to happen.
Right.
And, just like everything else, one of the big things is everyone's like, well, how do I tell them that, I'm going to go to my kid's softball game? Tell them you have an appointment,
That's
because
it. They
you
don't need to know
do.
it's a softball game. It's just you have an appointment.
100%. Do you know how many times a day I say I'm in an appointment and I might just be working on my quad for that hour?
Well, and another thing, by the way, hate to admit it, but when I used to, and thank goodness I don't have to anymore, but when I used to have to pick up my son and drop him off from school,
Yeah,
I mean, if it wasn't on the calendar, it literally didn't happen. Like,
it did not happen because you'll forget.
yeah.
Because if you're like me in the zone or you're coaching, I'm in the zone, it's going to get forgotten about.
So tell me this, for someone watching right now who feels stuck and alone in their journey,
Mhm.
what is the one thing that they can do to start today to start shifting their environment and their results?
So I'm kind of tough. I'll be very honest, I really am. How bad do you want it? That's it. Like, how bad do you really want whatever it is, the GCI, the unit sold, the amazing vacation, whatever? Because I know if I want something bad enough, get out of the way. I'm just making your life easier. Just get out of my way, because when I'm stuck on something, it's over.
That's it, the big enough why.
It really is. You have to have a big enough why. And, I do feel like you have to have discipline. And like I said, it's trust me when I tell you, when I'm out walking at 5 o'clock in the morning, I probably look like a homeless person, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Right.
And I'm doing, and again, there's only two people that would know that didn't do it. That would be, well, three: me, my husband, and God. And it would
Right.
bother me more than anything that I skipped,
Exactly.
because I'd be like, "Ah, was it worth it? Was the extra 15 minutes of sleep, was it worth it? No. Is 15 minutes going to make a difference? And no, it's not. I don't think it is. At least it doesn't for me.
Right. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm
You
so
know,
grateful
seriously,
for
not
you.
just for this conversation, but for who you've been in my life this year. And
Same. That I can just pick up the phone and be like, girl, you're
Oh,
not even going to believe this.
by the way, just to share, just to really share, the way you and I connected the first time was because we both had potty mouths.
Yes. And do you remember what I sent you?
I still have it. I haven't
You
gone.
do?
Yes, I was actually
Is there
going to
any
show it.
left?
Yes, so I was actually going to show it. So Heidi gave me a jar full of the F word,
Bucks.
right?
I'll say it.
Okay, pretty good. So a jar full of fucks in it, and it had a little note, and it said, when people walk into your office, you just give them out one at a time. And then
Yeah,
that day, you're like, that's it. I'm all out of fucks for
I'm
today.
out. I'm out. I have no more. So I don't know what to tell you.
I love that. I love that. I love
Well,
it.
I love you and I sincerely appreciate your friendship. Like I said, just being able to pick up the phone and be like, you're not even going to believe this. And you're like, girl, lay it on me. And I'm like, I have this seller and they're acting like a total psycho. And you're like, lay it on me.
Yes, and that's what I need people to understand and hopefully
100%.
take from this. If there is one thing that I really want every one of you watching to take from this is that growth is not meant to be done alone. The
No,
right people will challenge you. They will stretch you. They will hold you accountable and they will help you become the version of yourself that you've been praying for. So I ask you to ask yourself, who's in your circle? Who's pushing you? And who are you becoming because of it? If this conversation spoke to you, make sure that you subscribe, like, and share with someone who needs to hear this. This is Real Talk on the Red Chair, and we're just getting started. Thank you, Heidi.
thank you for having me.